Hello, beautiful soul, and welcome back. We're exploring the understanding of what it truly means to hold the frequency of unconditional love. What is the actual frequency, and what does that truly mean to embody that, rather than the emotion of love that we are all so familiar with? This is a really important message because Yeshua really held the frequency of unconditional love, and this frequency of love is really deeply needing to be anchored back on Gaia's frequency and the collective consciousness of what it truly means to hold that frequency in order for us to really shift into this next stage of consciousness, this next stage of frequency change within Gaia's frequency. So unconditional love, to really hold that frequency within self, is to have a level of benign view of everything external to you. So Dr. David Hawkins, I think he wrote a book, Power versus Force, and within that was a scale of an emotional state and the frequencies that they hold, and also an emulation of what would be your life view of when you hold that frequency. And love isn't the highest one. I think above it is joy and enlightenment. And for love, the life view that you would hold when you hold in the sense of your soul resonance. So when I say the frequency of which that you are in the sense of holding in that frequency of unconditional love, means that what frequency does your soul stay in for the longest? Because we all cycle through these emotions. It is what do you stay in the sense of what do you resonate with, of emitting that frequency in the majority of your time. So to stay in that frequency of unconditional love does not mean that you do not descend and then arise back up, but those who have never been in that vibrational state, when they rise back up, they never reach the level of the frequency of unconditional love. So this is something that Yeshua held. He emitted and he stayed within himself in that frequency of unconditional love. So through David Hawkins' studies and exploration was the life view that you would hold if your soul resonates in the sense of the frequency that it holds, which was love, was a level of benign. So your life view is benign. And what that means is a sense of neutrality of the world, a sense of neutrality around society and neutrality around all things, in the sense of not being intertwined and not immersing yourself in density and suffering and pain and grief and anger, whatever someone else. So if you were to hold that frequency and you met another, it means that you stay holding in the state that you are in. You hold in your soul resonance frequency and you allow them to exist, but you do not allow that to affect the frequency that you're holding. You can still have compassion and empathy, but it is not allowing yourself to meet them in the emotional state of which they're holding. So this is a really important, because we have intertwined the emotion of when we feel love for others as though we have to sacrifice. So to hold a frequency of unconditional love is not to sacrifice your own heart. It's not to sacrifice and not honor yourself. In truth, it is actually the greatest state to be in to truly honor. When you hold unconditional love, you honor yourself because you have a level of benign view of all things. You do not interfere. If something outside of you chooses to do something that's in harm of itself, you do not interfere, because you recognize that that is of their path, that they are meant to do that in order to learn the lessons that they are meant to, in order to create the shift and change in their world. And so we have had this misconception of what it truly means. It does not mean, because there's definitely a view in the greater collective consciousness around holding unconditional love is meant that you're meant to allow others to just do as they will to you, and you're meant to love them anyway, almost like allowing them to just be, but still being a part of their world and involved. But that is not the frequency of unconditional love, because you are not honoring yourself. Because when we truly hold that, that is because we feel, just realize why I'm itching. It's because they're wanting to come in and help clarify this, because Yeshua is wanting to come in and channel through me, and they're like, hey, sorry, you just have to laugh at yourself. Yeshua is wanting to step in closer. They're wanting to come in, and I've been not paying attention, and I've been trying to explain it from my conscious mind so your conscious mind understands. But we are needing to really ground and anchor this and be soul to soul talk, heart to heart. It's starting to flow. We need to speak heart to heart. And so listen with your heart as I share these words. To be in the vibrational state of unconditional love, and to meet others who do not hold that frequency, means that you stay true within your own field. You stay connected, anchored, and honoring your own field of love. No matter the state of which you meet, you are able to stay within your own field and your own vibratory state, and not immerse yourself in whoever you're meeting. Do not immerse yourself in the world and the words that are coming through, what they're showing me. I'm like, words showing? What they're showing me is not immerse yourself into the, why am I getting lost? The birds are speaking now. Do not get lost into the, where is this word? It is like right there, the media. Where were you? It's up here. Oh, I think there's just a level of fun that needs to be brought to this. It feels like it started off very serious. The media. Let's bring the inner child into this moment. Oh, okay. We needed to bring that inner child fun into this, because that is the pathway of unconditional love. There it is, all coming together. I am seeing the pathway. The pathway to connect with the vibratory state of unconditional love, and to be in that, in your soul resonance, in your field, to resonate with that, is to reconnect with the divine inner child. Is the word, divine inner child. Do not immerse yourself in the media, in these sort of murky waters that want to pull us into the dark aspects of the distortion of the reality that has been constructed to keep disconnection from that divine inner child. We see children and we see their love that emits from them, and no matter how challenging their life is, no matter how disconnected they feel sometimes from their parents, from the world around them, you can still see the love that shines through. Even when you see their parents who may be in a really dark place, you can still see love and joy and happiness that shines through them. This is the perfect demonstration of how to hold and be in this frequency, is when you see children emitting that frequency, free, is that you realize it was never about self-sacrificing in order to ensure that others feel well and happy within self, it was about coming back to the unconditional love within self, holding so much love for every aspect of you and holding in that no matter what surrounds. And almost what I'm seeing is almost allow that murky, dense cloud to almost be on the outside of your field. We can observe with neutrality, but we do not interfere with someone else's path, because the state of being in the vibration of unconditional love is deeply healing in itself. To just witness someone be, rather than what we are so very used to in society of people immersing themselves in each other's fields and states of being, and all that is because we desire for a connection, to feel connected, and so we immerse ourselves in whatever vibration that they're holding in, whatever emotional states, and then that makes us feel connected and not alone. But in recognizing that desire to feel connected is just your heart saying, I don't feel connected to you. So when you still have the level of desire for connection externally, that is your messenger and communication tool to say that I actually don't feel that connection within self. Yes, it's important to still have connections external, but it's realizing that when we feel so deeply connected with self and we stay in hold in that, that is when the connections, the soul family, begin to magnetize towards us, because they see us just being and not affected by the distortions of the dark reality that we have moved out of. We're no longer there. And this is a really important recognition of realizing that the state of unconditional love is really illuminated through that divine inner child, that innocence, the playfulness, the joy that is just emitted from them. It's like staying in the mission of your frequency from a soul level and holding in that field, holding in that no matter what surrounds, to hold in that. And that is when you change and shape your reality to begin to match. But you have to first hold in that vibratory state. And then the external reality starts to slowly change, as long as you continue to stay in the action of holding in these frequencies. It does not mean that you do not feel anger, do not feel sadness or grief. That is a part of this human experience. It's that you come back to the vibration of unconditional love. And recognizing that what we thought was unconditional love was a distortion to keep you disconnected from your power, because your power has fierce boundaries. To have an open heart is not having an open heart that means all can do what they will to you. It's to have a truly open heart is to have a very strong field, having very strong boundaries. That is actually how to enter that vibratory state of unconditional love, is when you begin to recognize all you were waiting on was to honor yourself. How beautiful. Is there anything else that we are needing to hear in this moment? This is so important. This is so important to recognize that what we thought was love was a distortion. And what we thought was disconnection was not light and truth. And that you can hold in your field and still emit love, and for others to feel that vibration that is just emitting off of you. And it does not mean that you are cruel. It does not mean that there's anything wrong with having strong boundaries. Actually, that is the greatest act of love. To hold strong boundaries is the greatest act of love for you and for all that surrounds you, because you are being the demonstrator of what they are not actually aligning with. Because if they are trying to take from you, if they're trying to pull you in, then they do not have strong boundaries in themselves. And you are a demonstration, you are a leader to demonstrate what it means to truly love self and to truly hold in that strong field. And that is the most powerful lesson. And that is what their heart and their soul is desiring. So my love, I hope this helped in this moment in time where we are going through big change, where there is a lot of uncertainty within those who are not yet awakened. There's a lot of fear in the field, in the collective consciousness. And this is how you can stay really clean within your field of really removing those distortions from that collective consciousness. So you can see it, you can allow it and observe it, but with a level of neutrality, neither holding the idea of this good and bad, up and down. As you know, we look at up as being good and down as being bad, but rather than seeing things as more as though it is like side by side. You know, when we look at dimensions, 3 and 4, we already hold this as though that's bad and good. Like we already start to categorize it, which is not light and full truth, and it is a distortion of like disconnection. So it's just starting to see things as coexisting on each other. My words, coexisting next to each other. Dimensions, realities, timelines, they just coexist next to each other rather than thinking it as a hierarchical sort of system. So my love, I am going to leave you here. I thank you for being with me, and I send you love.